Sam Howell has been traded from the Washington Commanders to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are receiving a 4th-round pick and a 6th-rounder, and Sam Howell. The Commanders are getting a 3rd-round selection and a 5th-round pick for Sam Howell's services. Sam Howell, to me, this seems like the Seattle Seahawks going out there and trying to find the future at quarterback. And I was really shocked to see the amount of people that was like, this was a wasted trade by the Seahawks. Like, this dude isn't good. But if you watch the Commanders for the first half of last season, like, Sam Howell was a pretty big surprise. Like, he was top 5 in the NFL in passing yards, passing touchdowns. And then the second half of the season, like, everything just completely went wrong. And I don't know what went wrong. I think maybe he just got the hell kicked out of him too much. The offensive line was pretty much the worst in the NFL. He got sacked on nearly damn near every time he went to drop back. And him going to Seattle with how well they've drafted, the great young nucleus that they have, he may not be able to beat out Geno Smith this year, but this is somebody who a few years back could have been a potential number 1, number 2 overall pick. You know, he definitely has all the intangibles and definitely has the ability to be not just a quality starter for Seattle, but a good enough quarterback where maybe he could lead you to a little bit of a deep playoff run in the near future. So, I mean, when you look at Sam Howell as a scout, do you think that Seattle potentially might have landed a diamond in the rough potential QB1?
Absolutely. Sam Howell was my quarterback too in that 2022 uh so world renowned NFL draft class. But yeah, I mean, there was a point last year, JT, where Sam Howell led the NFL in touchdowns and yards passing. Like, Sam Howell cooked the Philadelphia Eagles defense was terrible last year. But Sam Howell cooked them, like shredded them like Swiss cheese. So yeah, I think Sam Howell going to Seattle is a great move for both sides. I think Washington being able to get a 3rd for Sam Howell is fucking great. Like, man, getting a 3rd for that type of player, still developing quarterback, that's really good value, especially for a team that's trying to secure their new starting quarterback. So that's really, really good for Washington. And for Seattle, I mean, JT, you know how I feel about Geno Smith. So for the people out there, I don't really think Geno Smith stops you from, you know, investing into the quarterback, position as you saw with Sam Howell. And while I don't agree with JT, I don't think Sam Howell could, beat out Geno this year, most likely. But I think next year, if Geno has a similar season that he had this year next year, I think Sam Howell is your starter in Seattle. Because again, this year he wasn't the greatest, but boy, when he had time to throw the football, he looked pretty darn good. Like, so if I'm Seattle, like, I am very, very, high on this young man. Like, he's only 22 years old. Like, he's not old. Like, he's an extremely young player still. So for me, it's like Seattle has a potential to do something very, very scary. They could pair Jackson Smith and Jigma and DK Metcalf, who's a little bit older, but we're going to include him in it, with Sam Howell for the next 3 to 4 years and see what you can do.
And you won't have to pay him a lot of money. You have a lot of cap space to allocate.
Yeah, it's a great. That trade was one of my favorite trades so far of the new league year, because it benefits both sides so well, bro. Like, yeah, shout out to Sam Howell. Love you, bro. You're a very, very talented quarterback, and I wish you nothing but the best.
And you talk about somebody who was let down by what he had around him. I mean, everybody keeps gassing up Airbnb and wondering why he's not an NFL head coach still, why he's coaching college ball now instead of the NFL. I mean, this dude let Sam Howell out the dry, man. You're a Cowboys fan. You saw what you did to them on Thanksgiving. Like, it's no wonder this dude fell apart, bro. Like, the dude was getting the shit kicked out of him every week, bro. Like, trying to throw deep passes with this offensive line, suicide. And the good thing about Sam Howell that you don't get from Geno Smith is you get really good mobility out of Sam Howell. Like, Sam Howell can really run, and he's a tough son of a gun. He has no problem putting his shoulder down and trying to power through somebody to score a touchdown or pick up a first down. I like Sam Howell. This dude has a lot of heart. He's gutsy. And last year pretty much was the equivalent to his rookie season because he only played one game, which was against Dallas in the final game of the regular season, technically his first year. But last year, we saw him start the whole entire season, and it was a mixed bag. So let's see what he can do in Seattle. They already came out and said that he's not going to start over Geno. It's not a quarterback battle. He is going to be the backup for at least right now. But, you know, Geno Smith has something happen, like he gets down with an injury or he starts out slow like he did last year. Sam Howell's going to come out and he's going to take that job. Like, mark my words, he's going to take that job.